Good morning. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here on this chilly Saturday morning. Unless you're in a warmer part of the country, then we all envy you big time. So, good morning, Margaret. So, good morning, Jennifer. Hey, Rachel, good morning. I was literally about 2 minutes behind. Hey, Rhonda, good morning. Nicole, good morning. I was like, it was so funny. I was like, thought I had everything set. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Patty. I thought I was all set. I really, truly thought I was set. And I lost track of time. I was actually doing some other chores prior to the show, but I mean, I had a few things ready to go. And then I looked at the clock. I'm like, uh-oh. And even now, I came down the stairs 30 seconds to like the show, and I'm like, I'm not ready. I can't do this. So technically, I'm like a minute behind or so. Not actually, but good morning, good morning. Why is this not showing? Okay, there it goes. That's so weird. My chat is being weird right now. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Jennifer. Wow, I cannot see. That is so weird. It's not letting me scroll. Ugh, that's so weird. I can't see the most recent comment. I can't see. So good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Carrie. So that's weird. It's blocking out the bottom one. I don't know why it's doing that. All right. Hey, Rodney, what's happening? So yeah. So I mean, if I'm maybe this might accelerate more as the show goes on, so I might get a little bit more excited. I did not eat breakfast because I was running around, but even funnier is this is cup number 3. So if I start to speak faster, I will consciously try not to. But if I do, y'all make fun of me in the comments. Slow down, we can't hear you. So it just sounded good. I was like, I mean, I chugged my second cup because I was busy, and then I was like, oh, it's like lukewarm. So I just like, wolfed it down. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? And then I was like, well, I want a fresh cup for the shows. So I'm like, I'm on 3. So 3 cups on an empty stomach. I'm telling you, it might kick in here if it hasn't already. But yeah, so we're gonna have some fun today. Like always, I think we always have fun. You guys get to listen to me blab for an hour, which is always fun. So I appreciate that. At least it wakes you guys up. I mean, you can't say it's always dull and boring coming from me if I'm not cracking a joke or at least giving off that positive vibe to all of you. I think I'm doing something wrong at this point. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Yeah, you can leave. It's not all about you, buddy. We just it is what it is. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. So I'm excited. We're going to get into things, and you know what? Let me grab my notes because see, I truly wasn't prepared. But that's okay. It is what it is, and we'll deal with what we got to deal with. So hey, Phil, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I know you were. What's that, Phil? Am I mistaken? Was that this week you were? Was it this week or last week you were investigating, man? I can't remember which one it was. You have a lot of posts going right now, so I'm like I can't keep track of which ones were which. So I think you were investigating this week, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully that went well. If I'm not, again, I could be totally wrong. So correct me, please. Like I said, you got a lot of posts running, and then I might have just mixed them all together. So hey, Christine, good morning. Which is normal because if I'm not like all over the place, then obviously something's up. But but it is what it is. Cool. There we go. There's my notes. That works quite well. Okay. Yeah. See, it's all getting a little bit more professional. I mean, I got notes over here. I got all my other screens that I want to use and highlight and use to further our main topic for the show today. But it's trying to step it up a little bit. I'm still got a couple other things that are in works. They're still taking a little bit of time to get through, but hopefully sometime this year there'll be some more fun stuff going on. So But we'll see. We'll see. Hey, like I'm not trying to rush in anything. Hey, Rodney, you have a good day. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. And we're just gonna keep having some fun and hope for the best. And like I said, I'm not gonna be worried about certain things I want to have done or achieve. I'm not gonna be boo-hooing over it or getting angry at it because it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And you guys will certainly know about it because there'll be some cool things. But we'll keep playing with it and see how it all plays out. So yeah, I wanted to see. That's the thing. Hey, Shannon. Good morning, Shannon. Right there for you. And it's so weird. Okay, so I cannot. That's so weird with that chat. That is going to kill me right now. It's so weird. The recent chat just blocks off, and I don't know how to. Can I do that with this? Does that help? Ooh, that helps. Ooh, I got to go full screen, which I didn't before, but all right. Oh, that was okay. Phil, let me see what you got here. Yeah, last Saturday was at the Bristol Opera House. Very active nights. Next Saturday, the old Columbia County Jail. Busy. Yeah, I know you've been to the jail before many times, so I know you've always had a good times there. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool about the Opera House. I didn't know nothing about it, so but that's always awesome that you can get a few things going on. Margaret, you know what? I was gonna touch on that. So I'm not gonna say it now, but I'm gonna touch on that here in a minute. So, but we'll hit you with that one. So, but yeah. So I wanted to hit because it was so weird because I think some of you catch it, some of you don't. But if you were, catching in the beginning of the week, I had a lot of I had some interesting things happen in the beginning of the week, and it was fun. You know, you guys know that, there's times where I'm just not, that I was, uh, I always struggle with sleep and it's always something different. And sometimes it's a repeat of the same thing. So it's always weird, but yeah, I mean, it's always so weird. Cause like one night I'll just be overly hot and it's just like, for some reason, with the outside air being cooler, it just seems like the heat runs a little bit more. And then I'm, uh, uh, dying, as far as, just sweating so much in bed. So it's like, well, whatever. But I just deal with it. And then other nights it's just like, I had some headaches out of nowhere, which I know I've seen a few people posting about that. They've had some headaches in the middle of the night. So I start to think, okay, well, that might be something a little bit more astrological, going on, that some of us are experiencing the same things. Hey, Tanya, this is why I try to bring these up and save some of these for the show because, you never know. Hey, good morning, Melody. Phil saying, yeah, then going to Indiana State Sanatorium at the beginning of March with Megan and Ioana. That's awesome, man. That's cool, man. Well, it's always fun to see what you're up to, buddy. I know you stay busy. I love that, man. So don't quit that stuff. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, it was weird because I think if you guys remember some of the story, and if you missed the post from earlier in this week, it was fun. Was that I got started the normal day and then got called to was that this week or last week? Oh man, see, I'm all off. See, now I'm gonna have to go back through my. Let's see. Let me back up a little bit. So let's pause here. So let's see. Nope, that's not that one. Nope, nope, nope. Is that it? Yeah, it was. Okay, so it was Monday. All right, see? But so if you missed it, I won't go hardcore detail, but I do a normal day job, so I was at my job and got called to a emergency. Basically, something wasn't working, and it was in a training facility that they were teaching a class, and unfortunately, they needed the projector to work, and because there was slides they need to show, there's videos of the training that that the guys and gals, because it was a mixed group. I mean, actually, I could just say it because it was a welding type of class. So they were going over welding and things. So it was really cool. And so, I mean, I get there, of course, I have to get escorted to the room because it's a little, it's a serious place. And so the client meets me, we walk to the room and, I pop in there, and they're already starting to do some teaching and training and stuff like that. So I'm taking a look and trying to go through my troubleshooting modes and, And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get up, to the projector. I got to look at what's going on up there. And so I get up, the client gets a ladder, and so um, I get up to the projector, and then I realize that because projectors, they have to have a power source, which no kidding, right? But what a lot of times in some of the buildings, they put the outlets right there in the ceiling, so you don't have to run a longer cord to it. They just have it all routed, through the ceilings, which you don't see. So there's two sets of outlets, and I was checking them, and I realized that there was no power to them at all. And the instructor it was awesome because he was just like, yeah, he goes, they were working on one of the rooms next door, and I think they probably like must have killed a switch somewhere, because the client and the instructor went and were trying to find a power breaker, the breaker box, and trying to see if it was a trip circuit. Couldn't find that. Come back, and so um, so there's nothing much I can do because I need that power. If I don't have that power, I can't use any equipment. So, um, but knowing me, and like you guys know, I mean, I'm always here to help. And so even in that aspect, I mean, it's like, well, what can I do to help save the day? You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I was telling one of the students, I'm like, hey, so if they really want, and they need this stuff really bad. I said, all we got to do is just reroute power to it. And I said, we could just run a cord up to it and then just need a power strip, because there's not only projectors, a couple other devices that help the signal. So they come back in, the instructor, I start telling the instructor, and he kind of gets all wide eyed. He's like, you can do that? And I'm like, well, yeah. I said, but if you got to get me, I don't have any, a long extension cord and a power strip. I said, if you got something that you can get here, that we can just, I'll tap you in. We'll get you rolling. He's like, oh my gosh, stay right here. And I'm like, well, yeah. And then the client comes back in, and I tell him what we're going to do. And instructor walks back with the cord, which was great because it was a cord with three outlets on it. So I go up there, I plug all the devices in. They run it to the an outlet on the ground and power it up. Everything, projectors, blazing, and they get everything set. The instructor at this point is losing his mind, but in a great way. And this guy was older. I mean, he had to be in his 60s, early 60s or so. But such a sweet old man. But he was just like, he couldn't stop thanking me. And he was just like, bless you, sir. I mean, bless you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Just bless you. And I'm like, hey, no problem. That's what I'm, I'm trying to, just wanted to get you rolling, as best we could to get you. It was so fun to just see, the gratitude that he was so grateful. And I'm thinking it's just no big deal. I mean, I was like, hey, I just helped you, just wanted to save your meeting or your training, you know. And so even when we were walking out of the room, he's tapping me like, bless you again, just thank you. And I'm like, that's cool. I mean, it's fun. Half the time doing, behind the scenes work like this, you don't always get, you don't get the thanks, you don't get the, recognition like that, because it's just, sometimes it's in a panic, like that could have been. And, I could have just said, no, you're screwed. And, here it is. I came up with an easy solution. And to me, it's just no big deal. It's just part of who I am, what I do. And, that goes inside and outside of my work life. So, but it was just so fun to see his reaction, and to see how much it meant to him, and it saved the day, because this was 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, so it was still a long day of training, and it would have been really tough to not have that projector. So, but I wanted to share it because that was, I didn't sleep that well that day, but here it was. I just kind of like threw that off to the side, and then I just did my thing. I just went after it and helped out, even though it wasn't like, I fixed something. All I did was just come up with an easy solution that helped them out. So and then on the flip side of it all, so then the next couple days, and then then everything kind of fell apart on me, which is a bummer. I was sitting there, and that's the interesting thing about the whole thing, is that you might have good days, you might have good weeks, you might have good months, might have a good year. But at the same time, it's like you get humbled by the fact that then when you have a rough day or multiple rough days, it's like, well, I guess I really need to balance myself out. And I'm like, oh man, because so yeah, like the next couple days, I mean, I didn't feel well because like I think it was there Tuesday, I think it was. I dinner the night before just wasn't sitting right, and thanks, Margaret, and hey, good morning, Janet. And so I was, you know, So I wasn't feeling well, but I still was, it wasn't like it was just a stomach issue. It wasn't anything else, if you know what I mean. But yeah, dinner didn't sit right with me. And so it just made my morning rough, but at the same time, I didn't sleep well. And then I had to go do like some major service work with a couple other coworkers. And we had to bad part was is it was major work, but at the same time, it was a lot of sitting around and waiting because we had to wait for another technician outside the company to come in to fix it because it was under warranty repair, and we can't touch things that are under warranty other than troubleshoot it. So we sat around all day, which was rough. I'm tired. I just want to like sit back, but there's people around, and so and it just was it happened where you gotta hang in there. And when I got home, I was just still had to do other things that I'm busy with in the evenings, with family. And I'm like, man, I just and it was rough. It was really rough. And then Wednesday was like similar but not as bad. And I was like, man, this is so weird to go from like, you know, okay, the start of the day Monday was like, okay, whatever. And then it was like, boom, you felt good. And then it was kind of like down for days. And I'm like, I can't win. So, but like I always have said, either I posted or I talk on the show. It's like, well, you just got to pick yourself up and keep moving on. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and dwell in things for too long and think, but it's, because you do that, you just suffer. And I a lot this, I know I've seen a lot of posts and even some messages with some people. I've noticed a lot of people, there's some struggles out there. I mean, who doesn't struggle on something? But we've, you know, I've seen some people just kind of dwelling in it a little too much, and they know better, but for some reason they're still kind of like sitting in it. I'm like, I throw those little fun comments out there like, hey, let's start picking ourselves back up, because again, you had a rough day. My opinion is I'd give you 24 hours to just kind of mope around, you know, and you just don't want to do anything. You just want to sit around and just veg out. Totally cool. After that 24-hour period is over with, and that includes your sleep. That's why I said 24 hours. Once that's over, that's it. You got to pick yourself up. You can't, I don't want to see anybody, including myself, sit in that kind of negative little bubble, energy thing that it's just going to keep you down there, because it doesn't do any good. It just drags everything out. So, oh, okay, Kelly, I can see that. It was a rough week. Yes. I mean, and that could have been something in the air. I mean, it certainly could have been, some, alignment of, the stars, and so to speak, of, that it just we all had to deal with it in some different ways. Now, everything is not going to be the same, but you just manage through it, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those like, it's just a week, or a day or whatever it is for everybody. So just got to pick ourselves back up. So, all right, I want to keep rolling before we get out of time. Real quickly, I wanted to bring up, because I've seen some people doing it, and I just want to stress a few things. So, I mentioned in my the list of things is snow walk. So you guys know I do that, and like I said, I'm going to talk really fast on this part. So ignore the coffee. So I've seen a lot of people doing the snow walks. I want to stress out there that especially this time of year when the temperatures are what they are, be very careful about it. I'm all in, and I love to see people, exploring things and trying things. I just want people to understand that if you're going to do a snow walk, be mindful of the temperatures for real. For me, it's one thing to understand how to control hot temperatures, cold temperatures, that's sort of a side thing, that I learned. But when you start getting under the teens in the temperatures, especially for a longer period of time, the snow isn't as soft, it isn't as fluffy as it is when it's in the 20s, and obviously just a little bit into the low 30s. The snow changes to really pure ice, like true ice. And so when you're stepping on it, it's not so much that the cold is bothering, it's the fact that it's so sharp that's a whole nother pain situation, which you can overcome, but it's not the point. Where you're there's so many things that are involved, and that's why it's like it's fun to watch people doing it, to see them at trying it, and just seeing what it's all about. But I just want people to understand that if you do it right now, be mindful of the temperatures, and even then, we just had rain and stuff here in the Midwest, and so a lot of the snow was melted. But now it's going to be cold through the weekend, so all that snow that was starting to melt is really going to just be ice. So I wouldn't even go out with what snow is left out there and then stick my feet in it. It's just not going to happen, because I know it's going to be pure pain. And this is speaking from experience. I've walked out in like single digits, and it was kind of painful. It wasn't cold. It just plain hurt. It was like, broken glass, just everything was, it felt like your feet were all sliced up, like you went through like a slicing machine. So for anybody that does snow walks, or, wants to try it, be mindful of the actual temperatures and see where they're at. If you get a fresh snowfall and it's, mid 20s, low 30, that's a good opportunity to do that. But again, you go any lower, it's just, it just, like I said, it's not so much of an excuse. I just want you guys to be safe, because again, I'm not there, and I don't need anybody coming back saying, well, you do. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm also mindful of things too. I mean, people say I'm crazy for doing that stuff, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. I will protect myself if I need to. So, all right, Phil, you have a good one, buddy. Good to see you, man. Have a good weekend. And so anybody that ever does it or feels the need to do it, just be careful. And again, I'd love to teach this in person, because it is, it's easier to help people through the actual snow walk. So a lot of times people just go out just to put their bare feet in the snow, and that's it, which that isn't the true element of what you're getting out of it. But again, it's cool for when you really truly open up to it and things. So I know you do, Ron. I know you like watching me do that. So that is it, Jeff. It really is. There is a fine line between crazy and stupid. But for me, it's the I don't even know if those really fall in there for me. So I mean, others probably, but not so much me. So um, another real thing, quick, and then we're gonna hit that main topic. So I wanted to update people. I was gonna post it, but again, I started having rough days this week after Monday. So I wanted to bring up what I talked about last weekend about the guided meditations. So what it looks like I'm going to have to do, because I can't go live like this, in a sense that it'll be on one of the pages. I had to figure out a way to do it privately, and my wonderful friend Jennifer Passavant, the idea hit me, and then I asked her about it, because she knows a little bit more about it. And so what'll probably most likely will happen is that I will set up an event on on Facebook to, hey, who's interested? And when you sign up, in a way sign up for it, I'll give you a link, and we're probably, I keep saying probably, but I'll be using Zoom, because it'll be private. So you'll get the link, and then you can tap into it. So that way I can't get in trouble with any copyright hits, because again, I'm going to have some music for the guided meditation. It's not going to be really loud. It's just going to be there, hovering in the background for everybody. But I don't want to take a hit for no reason. It's not like I'm asking for money for this right now, but I don't want to sit there and take a hit, because obviously, I'd love to, do this here. I think it would be great, but the I'd have to like not have anything happening. And even if I was to put just ambient nature sounds in the background, I might get tagged for that. Who knows? You don't know what the whole deal is. But I think that's probably going to be the best thing, is that I'll create it here. So I'll give people time. I'll try to set it up where it's a couple weeks out, so that way people if they can do it, great. If you can't, I'm going to do more of these. There's no doubt about it. But I think it'll be better on Zoom, to where you guys will just come into it. I can't get in trouble for anything. Not that, I don't know. It's weird, but like I said, I understand, things and why things happen. But we just got to play the game a little bit. But I think that'll be the best way to go, is, create the event. You guys sign up for it. You'll get a Zoom link for it. And then we'll, do the guided meditation. And that way we all get everything out of it. I won't get in trouble. You guys will get a guided meditation for me, and and that'll be great. So um, and that's cool because as I say this, and I talked about a little bit of the copyright stuff, that segues perfectly into our topic. So I wanted to talk about superstitions, and if I knew I wasn't going to get a hit on copyright, I would have loved to have played Stevie Wonder's Superstitions song. That would have been a great intro to the whole show today, and I wish I could have, because I think it would have been fun. It would have been so neat to have that song playing, even for a few seconds or so, just to hit that up, because I think it would be neat. It makes sense, you know what I mean? And but I truly would have, and that's you know we got to deal with it, and I think that in this instance, again, I don't make anything off of these, so that's why I'm like, who's really winning or losing on this? I mean, if I'm promoting something, isn't that a good thing for the artist? I mean, I'm an artist. I mean, my music helps something out, great, but it's just crazy stuff nowadays. But I understand some of it. There's also probably some other things that I'm not going to say, just my personal opinions. But so anyway, so we wanted to talk about superstitions for the last half an hour or so, and I thought it was kind of fun because it kind of popped up in the middle of the week. I don't know why it popped up, but see, this is why that's why sometimes the show doesn't get you know um, populated or posted early in the week versus towards the end of the week, because sometimes I kind of let that um, the topics just kind of unfold, or if I'm talking to one of you privately, and sometimes there's certain things that come up in conversation, I'm like, that might be good for everybody to hear. Um, yeah, superstitions just hit me at some point. I'm like, that's kind of fun. I mean, it's a neat little topic, and whether you believe in them or not, or exercise them in some way, I think it would be kind of fun. So I did want to read, again, I'm gonna look over here to my other monitor, so I'm just gonna be literally reading what I'm seeing. So I mean, but I wanted to first say the definition of it. So the first one's interesting. I don't like it as much, but I like the second one more. But so superstition, excessively credulous belief in the reverence for supernatural beings, which that is the most ridiculous first definition I've ever seen. The second one makes it way more way more fun. A widely held but unjustified belief in the supernatural causation leading to a certain consequences of an action or event or a practice based on such a belief. I did like that one a lot more. And then there's other people that, that one was just the very first thing that came up, like when you do a search. So that was right out of the gate. But I've seen a few other ones, and it's just rewording of certain things or moving things around. So, but I am curious, as to like all of you, uh, I'm going to read some of the basics. So I got two different things that are popped up. And again, this is just general searches for things. And I got one that's going to have a lot of the classics that we all know about. And then I got another one that, we'll get through what I can get through. So I might read some of them really fast, and just because I think they're neat, because the other ones are going to be superstitions that are from around the world. So I'm doing a lot of the classics that we know of here. So if there's any superstitions that you guys, pay attention to, or you avoid, or let me know in the comments. I think it'd be kind of fun. And like I said, some of these that are going to come up, you've definitely heard of a lot of these. So but the first one, right out of the gate, the black cat crossing the path. you know, um, so and there's they kind of talk about it a little bit, but they said this was black cat superstition was related to witches in the Middle Ages. Most people believe that witches kept black cats as companions and spies. So, obviously, if you're walking, driving, we're in modern times, right? And you have a black cat run across you, usually means something's not good. And obviously there's different opinions as to what then that is. Is it just going to be bad luck? What something gonna like happen to you, I mean, all the things that might happen within the whole aspect of it. So but it is fun. I mean, I think as a kid I remember being like, yeah, that's not cool, because you hear a lot of people talk about, so you believe it, in a sense. But being where I'm at, a lot of these I've stopped like worrying about. I mean, they're not they don't bother me because they happen sometimes so frequently that it doesn't affect me anymore. So it's kind of cool with the black cat. Uh, Walking under a ladder. This is another great one. So a standard, I always look at too, the classic, you got the A-frame um, uh, standard ladder, and if you were to walk underneath it, that's a pretty bad thing. So, uh, hey, Amy, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, so they're saying open ladder forms of a triangle. Walking through the triangle tempts the fates. Yeah. So I, the funny part is because of some of the things I've done, especially like when it comes to theater work, because I started doing theater back in high school, and even I haven't done it in several years, and but sometimes when people are working on lighting or other things that are on stage, sometimes you're on ladders or you're on lifts and stuff, but sometimes the A-frame ladders obviously are a little bit more secure, but there's been times where you've had to run under a ladder because you couldn't get around or walk behind it, and after doing that so many times, you realize that nothing ever happens. So I'm like, okay, so I mean, and if people still follow that, that's cool. I mean, but uh, obviously, really, what it comes down to is, it's really the safety of the ladder. I think that comes in. It's not so much of the superstition behind it, but it's just the fact that I bet you this came up when a lot of these A frames were still wooden, which they still make them. I mean, I have one that was when I moved into my house. They left a wooden one, and it's pretty rickety. It's not solid, like a good aluminum or a plastic type one, but I still use it, but I don't go all the way to the top because I won't trust it. But I could imagine, back in the wooden ones, it could just snap and then you fall down, and that could be where running underneath it might throw some juju out there, type of thing. But okay, and Debbie's saying, yeah, after volunteering at a cat rescue for 5 years, I debunked that one. Yeah. I mean, you got to think of the aspect of scaring people, especially back in the ancient times. I'll put it because there's different eras and things, but there's a lot of stuff, and we could go down a whole deep rabbit hole full of fun stuff with that. But yeah, I mean, I think it just made sense that it scared the bejesus out of people. So yeah. Yeah, OSHA came up with that superstition. Rob, more than likely, I bet you they did. So the other one, classic, broken mirror. Many religions believe in the mirror, it's a reflection of the soul. So a breaking mirror has dire consequences. Uh, then they're saying, yeah, don't, there's a simple and absolute, not at all wacky way to reserve your luck. Just gather up every single piece of the broken mirror and bury it under the moonlight. So even then, there's a few of them that show you how to, if you do break a mirror, not that there's really a, I think everybody's broken a mirror at some point in their life, and we're all still doing pretty good. And I think if you like most of superstitions, it's that, and the highlight of all this, so I say it now in case I miss it at the end, is it's a lot of mental. We talk about affirmations, we talk about our intentions. It's that circle that we all talk about and know that you really are hard into thinking that you're gonna things are gonna be broken and fall and falling apart on you. Well, you believed it enough to create it to happen. You manifested it. So, and I think too, the whole thing is, I bet you, and again, this is my personal opinion, that like on the mirror one, maybe they wanted, the people that came up with this wanted you to just take care of it because mirrors might have been expensive at a certain time. A lot of it obviously wasn't big full mirrors. There were a lot of hand mirrors. So you would think that maybe they were pushing the element of take care of your stuff, because it's expensive and not easy to acquire. Now, like today, you break a mirror, you can easily go to the store and get yourself a new one. So that's just my opinion. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's everybody you go with what you think is right, but that's the way I see it a little bit. Another great one, another classic is Friday the 13th. I mean, who doesn't like Friday the 13th? Any horror fans out there, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Um, I'm a big fan of the Friday the 13th, and I'm not talking the movie. I mean, I like the movies. I haven't seen them all, but that too. But the whole concept behind Friday the 13th, um, just reading a little bit of it, superstition might be as old as Christianity, so that kind of is neat. Per Christianity theology, Judas was the 13th guest at the Last Supper, and Jesus was crucified on a Friday. So, and yeah, there you go, Amy. Your good luck day. I know. I mean, I think it's kind of fun, to be honest with you, but because so many people freak out, and then yet there's a lot of us that are just like, I'm just going to take on the day like it's normal. So, oh, and Debbie, that's a good point. Did they use real silver on the back of the mirrors? That's true. Yeah, I mean, once again, the quality and the types. I mean, all that plays in. So yeah. So again, Friday the 13th was cool, and I treated just like it's more of a positive day than a negative. So I push positivity on Friday the 13th versus the negative, and I'm not worried because that doesn't help. So um, another fun one, and I do this a lot because, well, I'll tell you why I do this, but another one is opening umbrellas indoors, inside your homes or businesses and things like that. So they not okay. So it's hard to tempt fate. Anyone who opens umbrella. Okay. Some people believe that it's simply bad luck because of the big abrupt movement of the umbrella opening, which can accidentally cause damage. Another theory is that the umbrellas are already magical because they shade us from the sun, and therefore opening one in a house offends the sun gods. So, so, so yeah, I mean, it makes sense because a lot of homes and apartments and things, there's some rooms just aren't as big, or if you walk through a front door, sometimes you're kind of stuck in a small little hallway or a mud room, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, I could get it that opening up could easily damage something and stuff. But I think most people you would think they'd use a little bit more common sense that if you're going to open it up, how big's the umbrella? I mean, it's a little mini one that just barely covers your head. I get it. but uh, but I usually, will try to, shake everything off, especially if I've, used one. And then, I don't like the fact that if it's closed, even if you keep it, not, tied up, you're trapping some of those water droplets that are still on it. And then you're thinking, okay, well, is it going to get moldy? Is it going to, then stink, that kind of thing. So for me, it's like I like to open it up, and usually, our living room's kind of a little bit more open space, so I usually open it up and keep it, out of the way. But I'm not like ripping the umbrella open. I mean, I'm kind of opening slowly and stuff like that. But that's kind of a fun. But I do that all the time, and obviously, it's I'm not using it inside. I just want to dry it off so I can put it away properly. So. You're right, Amy. Yeah, which sun god am I offending? Who knows? I want. It doesn't say, in this one, but obviously it would be neat to see who thought that, or is it just somebody just shot from the hip and was just saying just whatever. But oh, geez, Rachel, I was hit by a car walking across the street, so I'm good with the Grizzly 13. Jeez, yeah. See, that's people not paying attention and stuff like that too. But. Oh man, but all right. And then here's another fun one. I think if you haven't heard this one before, you're probably gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about it." Step on a crack, break your mama's back. Now I haven't heard that one in a while, so when I saw it again, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one." Step on a crack, break your mama's back. Yeah, many folks believe that cracks on the ground were portals to other dimension, so stepping on one tempted the evil spirits on the other side. And what's more terrifying than getting hurt, hurting someone you love. Pretty interesting. I like that. Another one that I do this one for fun, but I did do it for a little while, like when it did happen, long time ago, but tossing, so tossing spilled salt over your shoulder. So many people believe that it's bad luck when the salt falls over and it spills out. Taking a quick pinch from it and throwing it over your shoulder counteracts the bad juju, which it actually said juju. Since salt has historically and often been valuable resource, even as used as money, it's thought that spilling it attracts evil spirits who want to steal from you, and alternatively, tossing it over your shoulder wards them off. Now I get part of that. That makes sense. Obviously uh, uh, throwing it over your shoulder to counteract it. I get that. But for those of us that work in the paranormal world, we love salt because sometimes we like to close off windows and doorways with salt. So to me, it's not a bad thing to use salt to help yourself out in a pretty rough investigation. I've even gone as far. I didn't have it, but one of the other mediums I was working with at the time had the black salt, which is really expensive. But just little granulars of black salt, along the windows and things. It's just kind of like that, like salt, like normal table salt, times a million. So um, so yeah, I used to do it because you hear it and then you just think you got to do it. But now it's like, yeah, okay, you picked it up, scoop it up, you clean up after yourself at least as anything. So yeah, Amy grounding and cleansing. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Debbie, that's also an OCD problem. Yeah, what's funny is that I was thinking about that when the topic came up. I'm like, you know, I probably do more OCD things than I realize, but not classify them as like superstition, And I might share a few before we run out of time. Um, but like I said, I just want to do a couple more. Itchy palms is one that I've always heard about. If you have an itchy palm, it means there's some money. You might come across some money in some way. Um, and they're saying you shouldn't scratch your hand if it's itchy. You're not supposed to scratch an itch to begin with. I think most people might know that because if you scratch it, you're actually tearing at your skin, which just makes it dried out more. So you're supposed to, rub a scratch because it's a little bit better. So, oh, there you go, Rachel. That's a great idea. Hey, I like that. Adding sea salt to my mop water for protection. Not a bad idea. That's pretty ingenious. I've never heard of that. So thank you for sharing that. That's pretty darn good. Shannon, finding a lucky penny and put it under your shoe, preferably left shoe to bring good fortune, but only keep it if it's heads up. Otherwise, it's not lucky. If it's tails up, turn it over for the next person to find. Ooh, I've never turned it over. I've just left it, So yeah, I mean, it's interesting is that I've never thought about turning it over, but I like that though. To give somebody else a chance at good luck. I like that. But yeah, but I never put it in the shoe before. I just kind of pocket it, but then what I do is I kind of bring it home and keep it. I kind of, not that I keep every single penny. might have to exchange that. Make it into something a little bit more, even if I keep the paper money. But I like that one. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. And plus, we know finding coins, whether it doesn't even have to necessarily be an investigation, but just like at home, messages from the other side. We'll have our loved ones that will, drop a penny or a dime or any type of coin for that matter. And sometimes if you look at those dates, that usually might reference who that is. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, sometimes it's good to kind of hold on to some of those things. But I like that. That might be something I might think of. If you find it tails up and then flip it over to kind of wish good luck on the next person. I like that one. Thanks, Shannon. Knocking on wood. I think we've all done this. I think everybody's done this one. I mean, just this week, when I was doing that other stuff where I wasn't feeling good, during the day, and I was with some coworkers, and we said something or whatever, and they were like, you better knock on wood. So they like forced me into knocking on it, and I'm like, okay. So I mean, and of course I've joked about it a lot. I think who hasn't, you can't find wood, so what do you guys do? I mean, it's another great one. So it's like, well, that's the best I can do. I'm going to knock on my head. I love that one too. It's so much fun. But who hasn't done that at some point? So whatever the situation is, oh, you better knock on wood. And you do that. So that's another fun one that I just have fun with, but I don't. It's not doesn't really do much anymore. At least I've never even noticed it did much even in the past. So Angie, you can make your own black salt with the ashes from your smudge work by mixing it with the salt. Whoa. I did not know that, but that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, because I mean, I know like with burnt sage, if you have some of the ashes left, they always say you want to go out and bury it. But that's a neat idea to sort of kind of creating one like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Jen, I've heard by adding Dead Sea, Celtic, or Himalayan salt to your laundry soap compartment in your washing machine when washing your sheets helps cleanse them of energy. That's another cool one. Yeah, I would imagine you don't want to go overboard. It'd be like where stoned wash jeans or something like that. So yeah, you don't want to get too heavy where it's going to be tearing at the material or something like that. But yeah, I could see like a little pinch or something like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's fascinating. Yeah, because I mean, some people don't like a lot of the sage and the smoky things. When it comes to that, it's another great cleanser. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like those. Great ideas and suggestions from all of you. Yeah. I would love to know the history. I know it doesn't have much. I mean, well, let's see. I could read a little bit of what it says. Um, Many see the more reversal of good luck or acting of unjinxing. The idea is pretty basic. Many superstitions believe that saying things or are going good, or putting their hopes into the world jinxes things that ruin it. Knocking on wood reverses or deletes that. The belief comes from times when certain religions believed that gods lived in the trees. They knock once, ask for their favor, and then knock again as a sign of gratitude. So there you go. So a little bit of a thing way back in the day, it looks like. Um, that's interesting because yeah, I mean, uh, everybody has their belief systems when it comes to reaching out to their gods or whatever system that they're into. But that's neat that they would, you know, more than likely you can tell it had to have been. I want to say if it wasn't religion, then it'd definitely be some type of shaman that was doing that, because being a nature based system like that, you really are tapping into that. Hey, good morning, Dinah. And you would really be um, reaching out, because of like Earth Mother, and obviously trees are, you know, they reach up to the heavens. So they kind of have that one little step closer to the creator and things. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. That's cool. All right. So what are we doing? How are we doing? Okay. You do a couple more, and then I want to go over the world ones. Lucky pennies. We were just talking about that, so I don't think we need to go there. Rabbit's feet. Obviously, that's an old one. I hardly ever see anybody carrying rabbit's feet anymore. But they do say the Celts believed rabbits were lucky because they lived underground, thus making them easier to communicate with the gods. So another type of ground shamans type of connection to the earth. So makes complete sense. I mean, I carried one as a kid. I had a white one, and I remember I probably still have it's probably buried in my old bedroom at my parents' house. So I it would be kind of fun if I ever find that thing, if I ever go clean out my old room. But I remember that. Yeah, but like I said, I don't really see too many people carrying rabbit's feet anymore. But I think a lot of people have gotten a little bit more. You know, not something. It not so much as a taboo, but at the same time, people probably just don't look. You know, too. They might look down on something like that you're carrying around a foot. So. I could get it, and there's plenty of other things that if you really wanted good luck, you can work that out. So, um, this one's interesting. Inside out clothes, according to Russian superstition, putting your clothes on inside out makes you vulnerable to getting beat up. So, if you ever accidentally put your clothes on backwards or wrong way, well, fix it. Then have a friend whack you on your shoulder to show the universe that you've already been beaten. This helps you avoid getting mugged or knocked out throughout your day. Oh man, I've never heard that, but that's really see, I'm turning red because that's hilarious. But oh man, I like that one a lot. Oh, what else? Is there any good ones? Other ones I just seeing. I mean, there's tons. Like the horseshoes, there's, finding a horseshoe equals good luck. Uh, let's see. I know you guys are commenting. I can see it moving. There's some other ones. Yeah, I mean, there's tons. Obviously, you guys could look them up if you really want to go through it. But let me read some of these world ones because I don't want to run it. We're down to like 9 minutes. So, yeah, let me find it. So, this is a list. It was just 55 weird superstitions from around the world. Oh, where'd you go? Okay. This one is never say, let's see. Kelly, kids and teachers wear pajamas inside and out during the winter in the hopes of a snowy day. Yeah, yeah. Four-leaf clovers, Margaret. Absolutely. Yep, I got that over here. This one's saying never say happy birthday too early. Celebrating or even congratulating someone on a birthday before the day arrives brings bad luck, at least in Russia. Now this one is interesting. I've never seen anybody do this, but this might have been something not so much modern, but might have been back several decades. But don't place two mirrors opposite each other. The infinite reflections may look cool, but in Mexico and elsewhere, facing mirrors open a doorway for the devil. Interesting. This was a fun one. Never stick your chopsticks straight up. Poking chopsticks down into your food is a big no-no in Japan. The utensils look like the unlucky number 4, which means death. And also the incense sticks used at funerals. Another tip is don't point your chopsticks at anyone. That's just plain rude. So you get a little bit of everything. So if you put your chopsticks down, like they're showing, they got them having in a more of like a A-frame thing. I never knew that, but a lot of times I just put them down, like on the, I have it in the bowl, but not standing straight up, and I would never point at anybody, but, everybody's like, yeah, don't point at somebody, Yeah, Stacy, I did touch on that a little bit earlier. So yeah, stepping on a crack, splitting the pole, breaking a, yep, we were touching on those. Jennifer, so iron horseshoes or railroad spike I recently learned actually do protect you from spirits. I learned this from watching a recent Kinder Spirits episode. Who knew? Yeah, it. You never know. You never know. Sometimes you never know. Let's see. This one was an interesting one. It doesn't say where it came from, but give a penny if you've received something sharp. Gifting anything with a blade can supposedly sever a relationship. So if you receive a knife set or a pair of scissors as a present, give that person a coin in return. Doesn't say anything further, so I don't know what, I don't know where it comes from, but that's pretty interesting. This one I have heard of. So when I saw it, but I know we don't do it here, but which actually I take that back. Sometimes we do this here, but don't go home right after a funeral. The Filipino tradition called pagpag dictates that people never go straight back to the house after a wake. Otherwise, a bad spirit might tag along and come inside. Mourners will make a stop at a restaurant or store first just in case. So I think, a lot of times, it's more just kind of like a more thanking thing is that, typically after you go through a funeral, you sometimes have a lunch or a late breakfast, type of thing. And I think a lot of people do that. It's just sort of a thank you. And, and that way people can still gather and still remember, the person that passed. And I think I think it's important in a lot of ways to do that. You still can, share stories. And I think that's, the whole thing is you want to keep that memory of that person still going. So, yeah, I don't, you don't see that too much. I can't even remember the last time I just went straight home after a funeral. So, this one's fun. I like this one too. Amy, what you got? A number of spiritual entities supposedly cannot stand the touch of an iron, the railroad spikes. Okay. Very cool. Whistling indoors invites evil. Whistling while you work may be an issue in Lithuania where it's forbidden to whistle indoors because the noise is believed to summon demons. Well, anybody that whistles, can't say everybody is whistling outdoors. I don't think that's a problem here in the United States. I haven't seen too many whistling and then demons just everywhere. So I think we're safe on that one. But I guess you have to, if you anybody takes a trip to Lithuania, don't be whistling inside. This one's fun too. Don't cheers with water. German superstition declares that if you cheers with water, you're actually wishing death upon the people you're drinking with. The idea stems from Greek mythology. Well, let's drink some coffee to that one. 4 minutes ago. Eh. In Britain, okay, keep your new shoes off the table. In Britain, it's considered bad luck because it's supposed to symbolize the death of a loved one. Back in the day, placing someone's shoes on a table was a way to let their family know that they had passed away. Nowadays, it's also just a bad etiquette. Yeah, like shoes are real clean and everything. Hey, that's right, Jeremy. Skulls. Uh, oh, that's cool, Debbie. Yeah, if you heard that, you shouldn't do it on a boat because it calls winds. Yeah, I could see that. I haven't heard it, but I could see that. Yeah, I think a lot of sea dog, salty sea dogs and stuff like that would know more about that, and Navy guys. Um, yeah, we did that one. We did that one. Oh, here we go. We gotta have some fun. Stepping in dog poo isn't necessarily bad. I beg to differ, but this one seems unlucky all around, but just go with it. Stepping in dog poo is actually considered a good luck in France. If you do it with your left foot, it's only bad luck if you step in it with your right foot. I'm telling you, it's never been good. It's never been good because anytime you ever step in it, and I got a couple great stories for that, but I'm not going to do those now because we're running out of time. But I got a couple stories of stepping in dog poo, so maybe some other time. I'm sorry. It might be good luck, but no, it's not. I'll never believe that one. It's bad luck, right, Kelly? It's bad luck either way you look at it. Okay, we've seen this one, and I think a lot of people always say we always see it the opposite way. So bird poo brings good fortune. So according to a Russian superstition, the bird poop that lands on you or something that belongs to you will bring you wealth. Something to keep in mind when the next time you're reading under a tree. Well, I think we've all said, a bird takes a dump on you, it's bad luck. At least here, I don't think I've ever seen anything. Well, never seen a change either way, but it's always just like, oh man, this stuff's on me. So, yeah, Shannon, no bananas on a boat. Being crapped on by a bird is also supposed to be good luck. You, yeah, the poo ones are just going to get the better of us. Here's a fun one. I think we've seen this before. Owls are bad omens. There's an Egyptian superstition that if you see or hear an owl, terrible news is coming. Yet another reason to not hang out in the woods at night. I've done a lot of outdoor classes, and some of it was a lot of just outdoor survival stuff. And I also done a lot of my shamanic teachings and things have been outdoors, and it's fascinating that when you really open up to nature, especially with shamanism being so close to the earth, you're able to pick up on things. And when you've been out in the woods for a number of days, you can sense a lot. You really kind of get in flow with the nature. And what's neat is that on several occasions in one of the woods that we used to do a lot of the classes at, for like the outdoor stuff, outdoor survival, there was times where it's like, look, and I would look, and sure enough, granted, we're talking like 50, 75 feet away, maybe 100 feet away, I'm looking, staring right at an owl looking at me, and it's that whole thing. You can feel something's going on, and then you look, and it's like, oh my gosh, and great camouflage because you wouldn't see it. But I always looked at it as a positive thing, because even in like native culture and stuff, they have few of them, different tribes and nations have a little different take on, catching an owl as far as seeing it, but I've always felt positive from my interactions with that. I never felt like it was a bad thing. because even then, some of the things we know about owls, they're always classified as old and wise, and they're very intelligent, they're very smart. So I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed being able to catch an owl in the wild. I always found it as a blessing. So um let's see. Yeah, Jennifer, good, likes the owls. Yep, very spiritual birds, Nicole. Yep. Yeah, Melody, Filipinos do have a lot more superstitions regarding the dead, and that you mentioned, yeah, like lifting children related to a past person over a coffin, supposedly, so the dead would not visit or haunt them. I was a forced participant as a child in the Philippines. Right. Yeah. So, and we're a minute over. So, this was fun. I mean, and like I said, it kept going. Like I was only at 15. I was skipping a few of them, but I was only at 15 of 56 superstitions from around the world. So, but a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, they're neat. Sometimes it's just, to hear different countries and what their beliefs and stuff like that. And so I loved it. Like I said, I went through most of them. I didn't get through all of them. So there were still some I probably haven't even ever heard of. So, but everybody can, you always look this up and take a peek at it. Like I said, this last one was 55 weird superstitions around the world. So if you really want to go through that list, you certainly can pull it up on your own time and take a look at it. But yeah, so I hope this was fun today. I like to kind of mix things up and have some fun, or get everybody to interact. I mean, again, had a lot of great suggestions today, so I appreciate everybody that was talking about how, like, Angie was talking about, using the ashes from like sage and stuff with table salt, and you kind of create your own little black salt in a way. Yeah, that's amazing. So a lot of great ideas. So I appreciate everyone's comments, and even in some of the superstitions I heard, the railroad spikes and stuff, and that's awesome. So again, thank you. So we are doing well. No, see, yeah, next weekend's a busy day. I still will have the show, of course. Um, I thought maybe the 26th I wasn't going to have a show, but it looks pretty good, like it'll happen no matter what. So I'm good there. Uh, Looking way ahead, still good. I know it now. We're going way down the road, but just in months from now, in May, May 7th, there will most likely not be a show. Well, there won't be a show unless I figure out the whole record thing and record the episode during the week, and then let it play live on Saturday. So I will not be live or watching the comments and things, but I might be able to do a show, record it, and then you guys will just see it from that standpoint. But yeah, I have to, my family life and things is going to continue to get more and more busy, as far as just well, better yet is just you guys know I have family. I've kids, and so my oldest is going to be a freshman in high school next year, so there's a lot of activities that they're looking for chaperones and things. So I did that, even Thursday night I was at being a band chaperone. So there's a lot of things that are be coming up where there are going to be some Fridays, and then obviously during the basketball season there's a lot of pep bands and things, so I could get involved there. So I mean, I want to do that. I want to you'll be a part of my kids' lives, obviously, and but it's cool. So yeah, so just keep that in mind as we get into, especially in the fall. There might be some days where I might be a little distant because I might be busy with family, which has been the case all of January and everything in February. So things are still progressing. I am hoping that I'll be able to slowly start kind of opening up and starting to take on clients again in next month. I'm waiting to still see if there's anything that I'm missing, because of again, I've been doing a lot of driving after work, of dropping off and picking up my kid for things. So that all ends supposedly in the next week or two, and if that's the case, then I can slowly start kind of ramping myself back up. So fingers crossed, everything's going good, and then we can start planning some other events that I've talked about extensively. So I am really keeping my fingers crossed. I'm not going to jump in with both feet, so I'm going to take my time. I might just do, a few little things. Might be do, extra live shows during the week, like doing a reading show. I really, really want to do, a performance show. and have you guys hanging out, me playing the flutes and things. So that's I'm looking forward to that. So a lot of cool things coming up. We're just kind of playing it by ear, letting it happen naturally, and nothing forced. I will work on the idea of doing that guided meditation. I'll probably do that on a weekend at some point, soon, Saturday or Sunday. So, you guys will see the post. So make sure you're watching that. And plus, I will, give everybody a heads up on the shows of when it's going to happen. So we'll do that guided. So I want to, again, it'll be a short one the first time, just so you guys can get a taste of how I do it. And a couple of you have seen it, or heard me work with you before, but not everybody has. So, but yeah, I want to be able to do that. I want to turn it into something a little bit more. That's sort of a long-term goal. And yeah, I think it'll be kind of cool. So thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of great comments. Thank you so much. And yeah, once again, a lot of fun today. And yeah, we'll be posting things like always. And hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend, a great next week. And I think it'll be awesome to get some things going and scheduled, like I said. So you guys rock. I mean, I love you guys. It means so much to see all of you, even if you're not commenting. It's still great to know that you're there watching and supporting. And like I said, we're the Black Swamp Medium's getting close to getting back to things, and helping everybody out, And again, you guys have any questions or have any suggestions, definitely hit me up, privately, and we'll I'm always going to answer whatever I can, and make help you guys as best I can within my time availability. So like I said, hopefully things are going to start to ease up in a few more weeks, and slowly ramp back up to where it was before. But again, thank you. It means a lot to see you guys. And so I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go get on with some more chores around the house, and just make the best of my weekend. And yes, let's do that. Enjoy yourselves. I am Adam, the Black Swamp Medium. You've been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat. Thank you again, each and every one of you. Love you all so much. And I will see you guys very, very soon. And with that said, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.